This is the growth cycle. The growth cycle is how we move from one version of ourselves to the next. That next version of you is the version with higher potential. So this is a pattern. How long you stay in each step of the pattern depends on where you are. Okay? So this list of experiences, you may encounter them throughout the cycle in the pattern. Start with two numbers from this list. Put them into the chat. Okay? These are markers for where you are in the cycle. Okay? So this is the growth cycle, how we grow from one version of ourselves to the next, and all the stages in between. You can use your pattern recognition in your memory, okay, to identify the stage you're in. Once you know where you are, you know what comes next, because this is a pattern. So start with two numbers. For example, we start out here in this stage. This is where our baseline, okay, this is where we start out moving toward our next version. What happened is that we loop, okay, where everything feels the same. Same thing every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, weekend, Monday, Tuesday, okay, we loop. And that's normal. We always start out in this pattern, looping, okay. Life is cybernetic. It's a system. So things loop, repetitions, normal, okay? And something big happens in life. Life throws something big at us. This is a trigger. This is the trigger stage of the pattern in the cycle. What happens here is that you may experience heartbreak, okay? Something happened at work. You fell in love, okay? You become a parent, you retired, you graduated. Betrayal, okay? Any of those big changes that shocks you out of your regular routine, okay? And this change is what you need to start your growth toward your next version. So what happens after the trigger? After the trigger, you move into this emoji. This emoji, you see the two directions that pulls you into two different directions. This is compression. It's a storm. If you feel like life is testing you, that's where you are. Okay? Life is testing you to survive, not to fail, to survive. So your entire system feels like you're stress tested. Okay? Like the rocket ship. They send test missions to space. You are being stress tested, just like the rocket ship, being stress tested. Okay, that's where you are. Glida 9, awakening, seeing possibilities. Okay, Glida, let me pin your message. You are very likely over here in expansion, part of the growth cycle. You see this rocket ship? You see this puzzle emoji? Yes, this is where it feels like you are learning and growing. Are you reading a lot of books? Amanda, thanks for the heart. Glida, are you reading a lot of books? Are you watching a lot of YouTube videos, podcasts, absorbing new information? You're seeing insights, downloads. Your perspective shifts. That's what it feels like in the rocket ship, in the expansion part. Are you seeing patterns? And if you're seeing possibilities, Glida, do you know which path you're going to pick? Quartz, 8 moving through 9. Very good. Frozen, go, 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 tension. Oh yes, you quartz, okay? You are between the door, this door emojis, making decisions, okay? And then this, the bell, the muted notification bell, preparation, rocket ship, awakening, possibilities, learning, growing. You're good. Glida, yes. Bella Sky, how are you? 3 and 5. Bella, want a different life. Can't sleep, wasting mind. Okay. Bella, it sounds like you're right between this emoji, okay, 2 directions. You're being pulled into 2 versions of yourself. And raising mind, as soon as you close your eyes, your brain active, okay, solving problems, simulating outcomes for your future. You're right over here. Let me ask you this. What is holding you at the door? What is holding you at the door? If you want a different life, okay, the decision that you're going to make switches your path. If that resonates with you, Bella, Glida, tap on the screen. Mari, you're experiencing all of the numbers. If you're experiencing all of the numbers, okay, all of these numbers, start with the most recent trigger in your life. That trigger, okay, is something shocking in your life. Start from that. Backtrack from there, okay? Good girl. Thanks for the heart. Start from that. Use your memory. You already have everything you need. All the data is in you. What was that? Was that heartbreak? Did you lose something? Did you gain something? What was that thing that changed your life? Big time. Start from there. Quartz, you're welcome. Thank you for being in my stream. Amanda, you relate to all of them. Good, because Amanda, you already know this pattern. You know this pattern. You have experienced this your whole life. Growing, feeling under pressure, being compressed, and then expand. Compressed, expand. That's how we grow. We feel like life tests us. But then after that, we grow. Bella, you experience all of them. Wendy, thanks for the follow. Quartz, thanks for the follow. For those who just joined, this is how we grow. This is a pattern, how we grow from one version of ourselves to the next version. All the stages in between, we experience them up here. So these are markers for where you may be in the growth cycle. Start with 2 numbers. Pick 2 things from this list. Put into the chat. I'll map you in the cycle. Bella, living girl, fear. Yes, here at the door. So Bella and living. Bella and good girl. Okay, both of you. At the door. Okay. There are 5 voices. 5 voices. The 5 voices talking to you at the door. Imagine there's a circle of advisors, okay, surrounding you. All of them want your attention. All of them are trying to give you advice. Most of those advice, okay, they try to protect you from the unknown of the future, from you moving to your next stage in life. Unknown is unsafe. By who? By your nervous system. Your nervous system protects you. So those 5 voices, they are trying to protect you. So if you're staying at the door because of fear, okay, it's because your nervous system is trying to protect you. Annabella, thanks for the rose. Kinton, thanks for the heart. Bella, thank you for the heart. Kinton, thanks for the rose. Yes. Your fear is the biggest. Solitude and missing someone. Yeah. Solitude and missing someone. Share your number down in the chat. Good girl, 4. Don't know who you are. Good girl, you don't need to know who you are. Okay? You don't need to know who you are before you get to your next version. Here's the thing. If you don't know who you are, you can keep moving. You can keep moving toward your next version. But you need to know where you are, though. It's okay you don't know who you are, but you need to know where in the pattern you are. Because if you know the step in the pattern, you know which step comes next, and you prepare to move to it so you're not stuck. You don't need to know who you are. Nevin, solitude and missing someone. Share your number into the chat. Wendy, 0. Okay, 0. Seeing patterns. Seeing patterns, dreams, deja vu is your system, your brain. Your brain highlights. Okay, your brain highlights what's important for you to see. And they come back again and again to get your attention. So if you're seeing a lot of things that are repeating, continuously coming back into your reality, like a repeating number, a word, dreams, okay, deja vu, is your brain asking you for data, your memory, your lived data is in you already. So that's why you see patterns. And what are the patterns you're seeing? Mary, you have the starting trigger. Where do you go from here? Okay, Mary, if you're experiencing a trigger, this lightning emoji, this is a pattern interruption of your regular loops. Okay, now from this trigger, the next that you may experience, that very likely. Okay, tell me if I'm wrong, or if you think you know where you are. Okay, after something big, shocking happens in your life, you start to experience pressure. It feels like life is testing you over here. You feel the tension of the push and the pull. Okay, you feel like the world is crushing down on you. If that's you, you might be here. Now, do you have a decision you need to make? That determines if you're at the door right here or you're still in compression. Glida, you were trying to figure out what was next and you kept seeing patterns. Then you woke up with clarity. Yes, in sleep, when you dream, in sleep, your subconscious is doing the heavy processing of the patterns that you experience. And because it's organizing, it's computing, it's simulating your outcomes, the future of you. You wake up with more organized data. That's why you feel more clarity, especially when you sleep. That's why sleep is important. Annabella, 0 and 9. Okay, Annabella, seeing possibilities. You feel like you're awakening because your awareness, okay, jacked up. Okay, you're shifting perspectives. You're absorbing a lot of information into your system. You're seeing patterns. Annabella, here. Okay. Oh, no, that is not what I What was that? What was that? Why? Where was my ring? Okay, I can't show you that. But here's the thing, Annabella. There are multiple stages in expansion. You're right here in expansion. You're in the rocket ship. Okay, seeing patterns. And let me ask you this. Do you see multiple paths to your next version? Yeah, let me ask you that. Do you see multiple paths to your next version? And why do I not have that on my... I'm going to move an image. All right, meanwhile, let me check. There are a lot of messages, so don't mind me if you might have to repost if I miss your numbers. Carla, 3790. Want a new life. Missing someone, waiting. You're in a waiting loop. Okay? Awakening, seeing possibilities, patterns. Okay. So let me share this with you. You are very likely in the expansion part of the cycle. And when you're in a loop with someone, you're missing someone, that loop that you have, okay, life is cybernetics. Our relationships are loops. Everything is a loop. Okay, a system is a loop. Everything inside a system are loops. So when you have a connection with someone, you and that someone, Carla, that's a loop. Okay. Now this loop, if you're missing them, they're not returning. That loop is now paused. Okay, paused. And if you're seeing possibilities, you're learning and growing, expanding. Okay, that's someone. Whether that someone comes back into the loop or not, your possibilities that you see in expansion are still here. That person didn't add anything new to your potential. They helped you see your potential. So if that person doesn't respond, doesn't come back, your potential is still here. If that resonates with you, tap on the screen. For those who just joined, make sure you follow me. What we're doing here is that we are inside a pattern. Where are you in the pattern? If you feel stuck somewhere, you want to know how much longer you're where you are. First, by knowing where you are in the pattern. How do you know? Start with this list. Pick 2 numbers, 2 things from the list that you resonate with the most. Share that into the chat. I will read your number. Why did I want to get my map up so I could show you the that part of it. But oh well. Okay. Hang in there with me. I want to get my map onto the screen so I can show you what this is. For some reason it didn't. Okay. I'm bringing up my map. 1 second. Okay. Cool. Technology. Uh-huh. Do you guys see the map that I have? Do you guys see this? Okay. Well, anyways. Let's see. There are a lot of It is true, your nervous system is out of balance. Bella Sky, if your nervous system is out of balance, it's very hard to move to the next stage because your nervous system needs to say, yes, I will survive the next stage, okay, before you can move to it. So you have to stabilize your system, Bella. You got to do some exercises, stabilization exercises to stabilize your system. I have that in my map. Check out my map. John, 1-2. John, solitude, no energy, burned out. John, 2 places you're very likely to be in. First, this loop right here, okay, looping, you are just grinding at something. You're grinding, working hard. You're burning all of your energy because you're just going. Okay, think about what that loop that you're spending energy grinding at. Okay, number 1. The second place, you see this emoji here, the notification bell, muted notification bell. Right here, you are by yourself. You're disconnected. You have no energy. Okay, if you have no energy and you're here, John, you are not going to reach your next stage, which is rocket ship expansion. That's where you learn and grow fast. So if you don't have energy and you're disconnected by yourself because you deleted the people, you want to be by yourself, you want quiet, you need energy. If that resonates with you, tap on the screen. I'm going through as fast as I can. Chow mein. 8. Frozen. Go. Chow mein. You're making me hungry. Frozen. Go. Tension. When you feel like two cases, when you feel like your body is frozen, but your mind, your brain is active, like go. It feels like the wheels on your car, it's like going really fast, but you're just stationary here, okay? Or your body is moving fast. You're walking fast, eating fast, talking fast, doing, more. But you can't think. Your brain is like stuck, like not processing. Which one are you, Chow mein? White feather, 7-0. White feather. Missing someone, you're in a waiting loop, seeing patterns, dreams, deja vu. Okay. So, white feather. Historians. Okay, historians use historical data to make predictions about the future. Stock market, world events. You are the historian making predictions about your future. Nobody can make predictions. Nobody knows where you are most accurately than you. Okay, I only know 2 numbers from you, 7-0. So if you're missing someone, you're in a loop, okay, and you're waiting for someone, okay, you're seeing patterns, you're expanding. Okay, let me ask you this. The version that you see yourself now, okay, the version that you see yourself now, is it still here when that person is gone? Do you still see your potential, your next version, even when this person doesn't respond back to you? Annabella, fear is the biggest challenge, 0 and 9. Yes, Annabella. Thanks for the follow, Chow mein. Scotty, 973. Awakening, growing, seeing possibility. Missing someone, also in a waiting loop. Scotty, want a new life, different life. Okay, Scotty, okay. Couple of places you could be in, but only you know best. You can use my map to find out where you are, okay? Scotty, this first place here, you're in a loop. This stage of the pattern is called loop, where everything is the same. You're looping, doing the same thing. So in your head, you're missing that someone, you're looping, your thought looping on them. You're waiting for them to return. Okay, what is a loop? Cybernetic loop. What is a cybernetic loop? When you text someone, they text back. When you work hard at a job, your work appreciates you, rewards you. Okay, that's a loop. That's a loop. When there's no movement in the loop, meaning repeat, you text someone, they text you back, you text someone, they text you back, that's movement. When there's no movement, okay, that someone is not returning to you. Okay, we don't know how long that may be, but if that someone doesn't return, okay, you're looping here. That energy that you're spending on that loop, okay, is not returning. So the feeling that you feel, Scotty, you're reaching for that person, that's the feeling of your own energy not returning, and it's just looping. Latoya, thanks for the follow. Viviana, 9 and 2. Viviana. Seeing possibilities, no energy. Okay. 2 places, Viviana. Okay. You could be at the door here. You could be feeling tension. So let me ask you this. Are you feeling tension? Are you feeling pressure to make a decision at the door? Okay. It's like that feeling where you know you have to do something. You want to do something, but you're kind of stopped right here. You've got pressure on you. The first place, Viviana. Second place, okay. Second place, if you see this, second place, Viviana, okay, you are right over here. You seeing this puzzle piece, that's patterns. You're seeing patterns, okay, repeating things. Your brain highlights repeating things for you to see. And here, okay, this target, that's trajectory. That's where you see multiple paths toward your next version of you. So which one are you? Only you can map yourself accurately. I only have 2 numbers from you. Okay? And if that resonates with you, tap on the screen. If that resonates with you, tap on the screen. Good girl. It seems so because your old self is battling new self. Yes, good girl. If you feel the battle, okay, if you feel the battle between the 2 versions of yourself, and how many of you feel the battle between your old version and your future version? Type battle into the chat. Battle into the chat. You right over here. That battle that you feel. You see this 2 directions emojis right here, because 2 versions of you. Okay, they want you to go in different directions. These versions, your nervous system, your safety, your life support, its job is to protect you, to make sure you survive. So it asks you, hey, don't go over there. Don't go over there to your next version. It's unknown. We don't know what that version is yet. Okay? Just stay here, do the same thing. But your next version was like, hey, you've always wanted to be here. You know you are more. I'm talking to you now. Okay? Come over here. Take a little bit of risk. Okay? So that's why it's battling. Battle is nearly ending for you, Valerie. Okay, good. White feather, you see repeating numbers a lot. For those who are seeing repeating numbers a lot, like 1111, 1212, whichever numbers that you're seeing, okay, those patterns, they have meaning in your system. Okay, those patterns have meaning in your system. Your brain highlights them for you to see. Those patterns that you see, these, okay, they are links. Your brain asks you to go and fetch data, your lived experience, your data, your memory, to compute, to calculate paths to your next version. It's like GPS, Google Maps, okay? When you enter a destination, you have multiple paths. It gives you multiple paths. So patterns are important. Your brain highlights them for you to see. Elena, you see 911 all the time. Well, Elena, when you see that pattern, focus on the feeling, emotions coming up. What is that story? Every time you see 911, okay? Just let the emotions come up because your brain needs access to that data. You don't need to know the details of that, but what is it reminding you of? Okay? What is it reminding you of? Elena, thanks for the follow. Shamayim, thanks for the follow. Annabella, just have to decide on the path. Yes. Annabella, whether you're here at the door, okay, Annabella, whether you're here at the door, you're seeing possibilities, or you're over here at the target. So this is the 12 stages. You only see 8 on the other screen because I can't fit 12. The entire cycle, the entire pattern has 12 stages. You see this right here? This is you, your baseline. Okay, this is the version of you now. And you make your way through the pattern, the cycle, to your next version. Oh, Valerie, can you explain the emojis from the growth? Yes, let's do that. How many of you are interested in me explaining the 12 stages quickly? The 12 emojis. Type yes into the chat if you want me to do that. Let me see. Can you explain? Yes, thank you. Elena, thank you so much. You're getting the map. Elena, if you get the map, okay, in the confirmation email, there are 2 links to register for 2 events this coming Saturday. The first one is I'll be helping you remember your growth pattern, your pattern, how you love, how you work, how you live, how you handle rejection, recover from failure, hold success. Okay? When you remember your pattern, you don't just move, you move faster. Make sure you register for that one, Elena. And also the second event is how you break out of a relationship loop. If you want to see yourself more clearly in a relationship, okay, or if you want to break out of it, register for that one too. Okay, first one is 2 p.m. Pacific time, Saturday, and then the next one 2 hours after that, 4 p.m. Saturday Pacific time. And Elena, I will give you a private reading in DM. So if you get the map, just DM me your numbers, your numbers here. Okay, many of you want me to explain the map. Okay, let's do that. I'll do that really quickly. So for those of you who just joined, this is the growth cycle. The growth cycle is how we grow from one version to another. So we always start out from our baseline. This happy phase, this is where you feel like everything is chill, everything's fine, okay? You're going along life, okay? If that's where you are, type happy into the chat. If that's where you think you are, type happy into the chat. Next, this is a loop, okay? It's looping. We always start out the next stage in the cycle looping. It's normal, okay? Nothing's wrong with you. Repetition, loops are normal. They're system objects. So this right here, you start to feel like you want more. You start to feel like, you know what? I'm doing the same thing every day, every week. I'm not learning, I'm not growing. I want more. Okay, this is where you ask, what is the meaning of life? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? If that's you, okay, type loop into the chat. Okay, type loop into the chat if that's you. Okay, I'm reading comments as I talk a little bit. Okay. So what happens is that because you don't want to do the same thing over and over again, you want change. Okay, so for those of you who want change, type change into the chat. Change in the chat. The next stage is the change. It's called trigger. This is where you will experience a pattern interruption. This is where life throws you something. Breakup, betrayal, losing something, okay? Love, work, personal life, losing something, okay? You move to a new city, big change. You retired, you graduated from school, whatever that change is, it shocks you. It's a shock wave. It shocks your system. And then you enter this stage. Do you see this? This is a storm. This is a thunderstorm. This is where you experience compression, pressure. You feel like life is testing you. Pressure, tension. You know that game Tug of War? That game Tug of War? Yes. Des, 1855, you want change. Des, in your head now, say, I want change. System thinking. This is system thinking. Life is a system. So systems respect consent. There's a consent protocol. So you have to give consent. You give consent to life to send you change. So in your head, say, I want change. Life will send you change. Delightful, loop, okay? Delightful, don't worry. Same thing with you. Say, I want change. You get a change, okay? And then pay attention. Be open to new experiences. All right. Pressure, okay? You feel like life is testing you. And then you are here at the door where you see some choices and you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision here. That decision, you are going to have voices at the door talking to you, giving you advice. Read about those in my map, okay? Because they are keeping you at the door. If you feel like you cannot move forward and you're here at the door, you're seeing options, read about how to move. And then what happens after this, the next stage, this black belt emoji is where you are disconnecting from the world. You feel like you're in solitude. You feel like you're alone. You feel like no one else understands what you're going through, especially here. You feel like you are in darkness. You feel like you're falling into the abyss, disconnecting from light, from others. This is not forever. But we have to go through this because this is a reset. It's like a reboot where when between pressure and you growing and learning, this is the middle point. It's the 0 point, okay, between pressure and expansion, you growing. So you have to go through this. How long you stay here, okay, it depends on your nervous system, okay, one. And second, your energy. If you don't have fuel, you won't take off in the rocket ship. Okay, how many of you are feel like life is testing you? If you feel like life is testing you, type test into the chat. Okay. If you feel like life is testing you, type test into the chat. If you feel like life is making you choose, you have to make a decision, type door. If you feel like you're at the door, type door into the chat. Clementine, welcome back. Tess, you feel like life is testing you. Life is stress testing you, Clementine. Okay, it's increasing the capacity of your system to handle your next version. Okay, and door. So you're right here between in the door, and then when you enter expansion, you are in the rocket ship, going out to space, exploration, learning about yourself. So you don't need to know who you are. You just need to know that you're expanding, you're learning. You have to learn and grow. Learn, absorb information. Don't waste your expansion. Okay, now here's the thing. The few stages that you don't see on the other screen, every stage here has a warning, a stops, a choke point. Every stage in expansion. If you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like you're learning and growing, and then all of a sudden you can't grow as much, you are over here somewhere. Okay, this information overload, you feel full, bloated, heavy, brain fog. Okay, so many things. Your system, you ingest more data than you can process. And then next, this yin yang here, discernment. This is where you want to know the truth. How many of you want to know the truth? If you want to know the truth, you want to know what's real, what's not real, type truth into the chat. This is where your discernment you start like increasing in capacity. Every time you expand in the cycle, you go through these cycles many, many times. But every time you expand, your discernment increases in capacity. Every time you see more truth than the past cycle. Rose, Clementine, thanks for sharing my live stream. Luna, Valerie, truth. Okay, yes. So after discernment, you see patterns, because when you can see differences, okay, when you can see differences, you can see the shape of a pattern. Because discernment, that's why you train discernment. Okay, everyone's born with discernment. Same thing with pattern recognition. We're born with these skills, but every time we go through the growth cycle, these skills increases in capacity. Yeah, because we're expanding, so our skills, our ability expands too with us. And then the patterns that you see, they start to form paths, viable paths to your next version, right here, your next version. So if you're seeing multiple paths, possibilities of your life, and you're excited, okay, you can get stuck here. Yes, you can get stuck here. Read about that in my map. If you feel like you're seeing multiple paths, many ideas, you have so many ideas you cannot get out of your head, and you feel like you're switching timelines, switching paths, you're right over here. Read about that in my map to see why you're stuck and get over it. You can move today. You're not stuck. Patterns, same thing. You can get stuck. Interpreting patterns. Okay, read about that in my map. Okay, and then you hit this apple emoji. This apple emoji is creativity. When you hit this stage, you are building, creating something from thought to something real. Okay, let's say you're bringing a human being into the world. You're creating. That's creation. If you're writing a book, you're creating. Right here, you're building a business, a startup, an app, a website. Creating. You're integrating everything that you've learned in expansion to become your next version. And then what happens when you become your next version? Your next version is now the baseline. Yes, for the next cycle. The end of a cycle is the beginning of the next cycle. So what happens is that this is upgraded version. When you're upgraded, okay, guess what happens when you're upgraded? Everyone that you meet in your life, opportunities, situations, upgraded. Yes, Yes, something magical happens here when you reach your next version. So if you feel like you're stuck in expansion, check out my map. Okay, I can't show the whole thing on the other screen because it's just too small. I cannot fit the 12 thing here, so I'm only showing what I can. If you enjoy that, if that made sense to you, tap on the screen. Mm-hmm. The expressions comes from a bigger view. It feels like yeah, Clementine. Every time you go through this cycle, it feels like you're a new version. 1855 shopper. Yes, yes. Nubia, thanks for the follow. That's a great question. What if I feel like I'm doing this in multiple timelines? My cycle is happening every day. Rose, let me ask you this. Okay. If you feel like you're hopping between timelines, you are here in this stage. This is trajectory. Okay, trajectory. This is where you see multiple paths to your next version. So here's the thing. Are you test driving a version of you? Are you switching timeline so fast that you can't stabilize? So for those of you who are seeing possibilities of your next version and you're switching timelines, okay, trying different things, you can switch timeline if you want to. Try a different path. Okay, it's like Google Maps, it gives you multiple paths. Try a different path if you don't like one path. But here's the thing, if you switch too fast and you don't stabilize, you have to stabilize your growth. If you don't stabilize your growth, you will feel like you're stuck here. And then what happens if you're stuck there? You're just looping between timelines. And you feel like maybe something's wrong with you. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't have what I need to reach your next version. No, it's because you haven't stabilized. Do the stabilization exercises, super simple exercises in my map. Read about what stops your growth. If that resonates with you, tap on the screen. Yeah, Rose, that makes sense. Okay, so start for those who just joined. Okay, this is the growth cycle. You are somewhere here. All of us is somewhere inside this cycle. This is a pattern. So how do you know where you are in the pattern? If you ask how long, wherever you are, first you have to know where you are. If you ask how much longer, well, where are you? Find yourself in the cycle. How do you find? Start with this list. Just 2 things, okay? Pick 2 things from the list that are most intense for you right now. Put them into the chat. I will map you in the cycle. Possible places that you may be in. Once you know where you are, you know what's next and you can move to it. Okay? You can move to it. You're not stuck. And how long? It depends on where you are. John, thanks so much for the rose. Nayota, Latoya, thanks for the rose. Welcome back, John. Thanks for the roses. Send me 22 of them. That's like 24 roses. Brigitte, thanks for the follow. Brigitte, 0 and 10. Okay. Well, 10. Brigitte, 10. Solitude. Seeing patterns, experiencing synchronicity. Okay. Brigitte, you're very likely here at the bell. This notification bell that you see right here, okay, this notification bell, this is where you delete, you initiate that. You want to be alone over here, okay, even though it feels lonely. You choose to be. Your system needs to be alone. Okay, so you delete things. Okay, you're cleaning, you are recycling, you're donating, you are blocking numbers on your phone. You don't respond to people as fast as quickly because you're reducing noise. You're cutting out drama because you want to hear. You want to be by yourself so you can hear your true signal, the signal that your system sends to you. Yes, we hear other people's signal, but we don't often hear our own signal. So in order for you to expand, to grow, learn and grow, to enter rocket ship expansion part of the cycle, you need to be able to see your own signal. So this is why you're by yourself. Okay, it's preparation. And here's the thing: this is not rejection. If you disconnect from someone, you're not rejecting them. You are prepared. You're preserving your time and energy for takeoff. This rocket ship, it needs energy. And for those of you who someone ghosted you, someone they stopped talking to you, okay, they never responded to you, they are going through their own solitude. They're going through something. Don't take it as rejection, okay? Because you don't know what they're going through, because every one of us is going through this. Well, every one of us is going through this stage, this cycle, in different stages, at different speed. Okay, some slower, some faster. We are growing at different speed. Burkita, if that resonates with you, tap on the screen. John, you love the map and you're reading it. Yes, John, are you reading it while you watch me on live? And John, make sure you register for the events for this coming Saturday. Okay, if you can join them, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Remember your growth pattern. I'll be going through the prompts in the map, the 9 prompts there. So you can ask me questions. Once you remember, okay, you will move faster. And do you know where you are? Are you reading all the stages? Do you know where you are? Birgitta, thanks, love. Thank you. Mel, thanks for the follow. Good vibes. Welcome back. Oh, awesome. John, I can't wait. Yeah, there are 2 events this coming Saturday. Get my map and register for it. First one, remember your pattern. Remember your pattern, you move faster. How you love, how you work, how you live, how you handle rejection, recover from failure, hold success. If you remember your pattern, this is a pattern recognition session. You use your pattern recognition and your memory, your data, okay, to make predictions about your future. Like historians make predictions about the future, stock market, world events, using historical data. You have all of your historical data with you. You have everything you need to make predictions about your future self. Valeria, thanks for the follow. What does the green puzzle mean? This right here, yes, this is a puzzle piece. This means pattern. Is a stage. This is a stage inside a pattern, a step inside the sequence of this growth pattern. Is how we grow from one version of ourselves to the next. Is how we survived past events. Is how we problem solve, okay, in life. It's how we handle stress. If you feel like life is testing you, you're over here. If you feel like you're by yourself alone, you're over here at this bell. If you feel like you're learning and growing, expanding, exploring, learning about yourself, you're here at the rocket ship. Yeah, good vibes. Thanks for the heart. Aziza, thanks for the heart. And if you're seeing patterns, noticing patterns, synchronicities, dreams, deja vu, that means you're very close. Your system, your brain is now computing, trying to compute path to your next version. That's what that means. Are you seeing patterns? You're at 8. So for those who join, okay, start with it. If you ask how much longer, wherever you are, how much longer, okay, to answer that question, you need to know where you are in your change, where are you moving to? This right here is how you evolve from this version of you to that version of you, the future self. So if you ask how long wherever you are, you need to know where you are first here. So to know where you are, start with this list. Put two most intense resonate with you. 2 numbers. Okay, pick if you have no energy burned out, 2. If you're missing someone, waiting for them, 7. Put 2, 7 into the chat. Okay, and I'll map you. Cece, hi, 1390. How to put so Cece, okay? Want solitude, want a different life, okay? You're by yourself, you want something different. You're seeing possibilities, okay? And repeating things. 2 places you could be in, okay? So you can map yourself more accurately. I only have 3 numbers. You have your entire life data. So first, the door, okay? This is where, if you feel like you need to make a decision, you have the urge, okay, to decide which version of you. This is what it feels like at the door, okay? At the door, you are under pressure. You are grinding at something. You are working hard, okay? Busy, pressure, doing something, but you might not like what that thing you're doing, okay? And instead, there's a part of you, your future self, okay, part of you that says, I would rather be doing this and that over here. I'd rather be over there. If this resonates with you, tap on the screen. If you're at the door, tap on the screen and type door into the chat, okay? You know you don't want to be doing whatever you're doing, but you have to do it anyways. But you also know that you're thinking about that thing that you want to be doing. And this is where the internal battle between you, the 2 versions of you, happen. You're making a decision whether to move toward that version or keep doing whatever that you're doing that you know you don't want to do. Okay, that's that. That's where the door is. Okay, so that's the first place you could be. I lost the pin message. You might have to repost again. But that's one of the possible places. Okay, get my map so you can read through. If you understand emojis, okay, the map is about emojis. If you understand emojis, you can get through the stages and you can find yourself in minutes. Lunch break, you have a lunch break? Find yourself. Dinner time by yourself, eating dinner, find yourself. Once you know where you are, you know what's next and you can prepare for it. Then you know how long. Nicole, 2-3. No energy burned out, want a different life. Yes. It's very likely. Okay, two likely places. Nicole. This loop, this stage right here in the pattern, loop. Every one of us starts out looping. Okay? Yeah. Because life is a loop. Life is a loop. Life is a system. This is systems thinking. Everything is a loop, a gear, repetition. So you're here working hard. Nicole, you're working hard, okay? And you want something different, okay? Right? If that resonates with you, tap on the screen or let me know in the chat. You're doing the same thing over and over again, right over here. What you want next is a change. Yes, you want change. Without this change, this is a trigger, pattern interruption. Without this, you would be looping. So you need this trigger. Nicole, read about that in my map, how you get this trigger. Okay, how you get this change. Aziza, 8-9. Okay, 8-9. Frozen, go, 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 tension. Awakening, seeing possibility. Aziza, you are very likely here at the door. You are very likely here at the door. You see this emoji? Compression, storm, pressure to make a decision. So if you're frozen, okay, if you're frozen, fear is keeping you frozen. Fear does two things. It freezes you so you don't move. That's our survival mechanism. Yeah, our nervous system, right? Survival mechanism. So fear freezes us. But also fear makes us go, 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 go. But what is happening here, Nicole, Aziza here, you're running fast, you're walking fast, talking fast, eating fast. You feel like you have to do more. You feel like you have to work harder, give more, run faster. You have to get everything done. That's how you're feeling under pressure right now. You're go, 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 but you're also frozen at the door. Okay. So if you're over here, Nicole, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to make a decision and get out of this? Or if you don't know yet, you need a way to release tension. If you don't release tension here, you're just taking the pressure, your system can break. Okay, read about that in my map, Nicole. I mean, Aziza. Okay, frozen, go, 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 tension, seeing possibility. The possibilities that you see, Aziza, is at the door, the options that you see. Rose, 7-9. Rose, missing someone waiting, seeing possibilities. Rose, let me ask you this. When you see those possibilities, okay, are you missing is related to that person? Are you missing that person, the body, or are you missing the version of you when you're with them? There's a difference. You miss that person, them, or you miss the version of you when you're with them. Use your pattern recognition. Feel which one. Christine, 2-7. Christine, no energy, burnt out, missing someone waiting. Yes. So for those of you who are missing someone and you're waiting, you're in a loop. Okay. Again, loops are system objects. System thinking. Loops are system objects. They're normal. Just because you're looping doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Okay. But you just need to notice why you're looping, because a loop is a pattern. There's a pattern in that loop. So you want to see that pattern in the loop. If you want to stop looping or get out of it or loop differently. Okay. So no energy burned out thinking about that person. Visualize this, Christine. The feedback, the loop, cybernetic feedback loop. Okay. The loop between you and that person has movement. Okay. You text them, they text you back. Okay. There's movement between you and that person. But when that movement stopped, The loop is paused. Okay, it's paused. So now visualize when you're waiting for that person, you are checking to see if they responded. Okay, so every time you think about them, you put your attention toward them. Okay, you are spending energy. You're sending them energy. Yes. So that loop right here is draining you. That's why you feel burnt out, no energy. If you're spending all your mental energy thinking about them, if this resonates with you, Christine, let me know. Tap on the screen. Okay. That's what's happening. So you could be over here looping, this right here looping. You're not seeing something new because all of your attention is focusing on this loop. That is not energizing you. That is not returning energy back to you. Burnt out. You can be burnt out if you, okay, get my map and read about how you get out of it. But also, okay, if you get my map, there are 2 events this coming Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Pacific time. The one at 4 p.m. Pacific time, how to get out of a relationship loop. How to get out, how you, if you want to see yourself more clearly, see the pattern, okay, get the map and register for that. Artemis 90 90. Okay, I'm 90. I'm just scanning to see who else 90. Okay, Artemis, Jessica. How many of you are 90? If you're 90, type 90 and I'll talk about 90. I know Jessica, Artemis, Mo. Mo. Okay, so 3 of you, 90. So let's talk about 90. Yes, Jessica. Let me go back to your 90. Okay, 90. Awakening, seeing possibilities. Okay, noticing patterns, synchronicity. Okay, if you resonate with 90, 90, you are over here, rocket ship and pattern. Now, I'm going to show you another map. There are multiple stages in this part of the pattern. I can't fit them here. So, right here, the rocket ship. Starting with the rocket ship. Jessica, Artemis, Magic. Okay, starting with the rocket ship. All the stages here, expanding. You're learning and growing. You're learning and growing. Okay, absorbing information. You're seeing new perspectives, possibilities. Target, you're seeing. Are you seeing paths to your next version yet? Okay, and the patterns that you see. Okay, are you allowing your memory, your brain to fetch those memories, those patterns? Every step here has a choke point. Jessica, Artemis, Emily, okay, Emily, Magic. I'm talking to those of you who are resonating with 90. Okay, every stage here has a choke point that stops you from moving. If you feel stuck right now, okay, if you feel stuck, but you're supposed to be learning and growing, and you feel like you have no energy, you don't know why you don't have energy, and you have these repeating thought loops, and you don't understand why you have those thoughts, and sometimes can be scary, and you don't understand, like, there's no relevant to what those loops are to your reality. You could be stuck here. Okay, overload, discernment, right here. That's where you picked up. Yes, your system can pick up emotional data. Okay, emotional data from other people. Our system is like Wi-Fi networks. We exchange data, just like Wi-Fi networks exchange data. If we don't see it, doesn't mean it's not happening. So what happens is that if you can walk into a room and feel the tension in the room, if you can see your friend, okay, they smile at you, but you know they're not happy inside. You can pick up emotional data, especially when you're expanding, you're absorbing data, ingesting a lot of information. You can accidentally pick up data, emotional data from other people, and your system replay them back to you as if they were your. Okay, so you can read about how to get out of it. That I was stuck in one of my expansions. I was stuck in this overload, or this right here, this where I picked up other people's emotional data, and I thought they were mine. I thought they were mine. 3 months. 3 months. I was in panic mode. There were thought loops that weren't mine, and I thought they were mine. So read about how to get out of it. And every stage that you are, where are you? Are you creating and building something? Apple emoji right here. Okay. So for those of you, Jessica, Magic, Optimus, Emily. Okay. Now you know where you are. Are you stuck, or are you moving along? Do you see your next version yet? The goal, what is this pattern? The goal here is to keep moving toward your next version. You don't need to know who you are. Number 4, don't know who I am. You don't need to know who you are. But very likely, if you don't know who you are under pressures. Something big happened in your life recently that shocked you out of your existing routine. And you ask, who am I now? Who am I? At this trigger, heartbreak, separating from your partner. Something happened at work. Okay? You got sick. Betrayal. Whatever those things is, you can read about the list in my map and find which one. Jessica, seeing emotional patterns. Yes, Jessica, emotional patterns, somatic patterns. Keep seeing them, Jessica. Mo, you cry and don't know why. Mo, okay? If you cry and you don't know why, don't worry, okay? Here's your system is constantly processing information in the background. It's doing a lot of processing subconsciously. So when it's processing something that has the grief pattern to it, where some emotional data that is processing requires release, you release them as tears. Just like when you get really hot, okay, when you get really hot, you sweat, right? You sweat. Your system is trying to regulate your temperature. So your temperature comes down. So same thing, if your system releases tears, it's because your system is regulating itself. So don't suppress the tears. Let them come out. Nicole, you're burned out and exhausted. Yes, Nicole, you're very much likely here. Okay, either in the loop, burned out, looping on something. What is your biggest loop? What is that loop that's draining most of your energy, Nicole? Okay, let me pin your message. What is that biggest loop that is draining your energy? You could be here looping, or you could be right here, right before the door. Right before the door. Pressure. Push and pull. Push and pull. The world, you're holding the world. The world is like pushing down on you. Read about that in my map. Okay, Nicole. Okay, only you have all of your data. Only you can accurately map yourself. I only have 3 numbers. Okay, you have your whole life. Nicole, why you're burned out? Start with the biggest repetition. What are you repeating? Is it your job? You're grinding too hard? You think you have to work harder? run faster, you have to get everything done, do everything for everyone, okay? Or which other things that you're repeating, that thing that's draining you. It could be multiple things, but there's one big one that. Jessica, how do you see your next version? How do you see your next version? Jessica asked. Okay, Jessica, how you see your next version? Here. In order to see your next version, you need to know where you are. Think of this like a clock, okay? You start at midnight and you make your way all the way, all the stages in the cycle, all the steps in the pattern, okay? If you want to see your next version, you need to start out knowing where you are. So, Jessica, do you know where you are? Do you know where you are yet? If you don't know, that's okay. That's what this session is for. So, Jessica, start with this list, the 2 numbers. Which 2 that you feel more intensely right now? Those 2 numbers. Okay? Put it into the chat. JM, why do I feel tired every day? People who gives you love and hope left you. 2-0. No energy, burned out. Seeing patterns, dreams. JM, okay? The reason you're burned out is because your system is spending energy on something. It could be your mind computing, simulating outcomes. You're thinking a lot. Are you analytical? JM, are you analytical? And constantly you're looping on something, a thought, a problem that you're trying to solve. What is that repeating thought loop? Okay, because that one is burning you out. And what happens if you stop thinking about it? And I know it's hard to stop thinking about a loop because it's like either you glue to it or it just has to come back like a repeating pattern. Your brain highlights it for you. So JM, start with the loop, the biggest loop, most draining loop. What is it? Here? Is it here? Are you looping? Energy, burned out? Because you can see patterns anywhere in the stage, okay, in the cycle. You see more of them when you're expanding. But you can also be here, burned out, okay? This 2 directions emojis, you're being pulled into 2 versions of yourself. Let me ask you this, JM. Okay. Do you see a decision that you have to make? Do you feel like you're moving toward making a decision? Because if you are getting close to the door. There are 5 voices at the door that stop us from moving forward. Just Keys, thanks for the follow. Make sure you follow me. So if you drop off, you can come back. Nicole, your work and feeling other people's emotions. Nicole, everything that you shared with me just now, you're right over here. Either this stage, okay, overload or discernment. You're right. I went through very similar thing in one of my expansion. Okay? I had this repeating thought loop where 2 pieces of data that I was looping on, and I was where you were. 2 thought loops, 2 pieces of data. First, I felt this urge to leave my city. I've been in this city for years. There's no reason for me to leave. My work, my friends, my families, my connections are here. But I felt this urge, like panic mode. It felt like the world is ending. And the second data that I was looping on, end of the year. So that was like October Okay, I was already feeling like panic mode. So a few more months until end of the year from October, and I was like, where would I go? It started to affect my job. At my work, I have to use my brain. I'm an engineer. I'm in engineering, so math, logic, engineering, my background, system thinking. I have to use my brain for work. It was starting to affect my work because I couldn't think. I was looping on some scary thoughts, and I didn't understand why. It had no relationship to my reality. So I I was I wanted to go explore outside solutions. Maybe someone else would know what was happening to me. I was getting desperate because it affected my job, and in engineering, if you don't perform, they can, replace you really quickly. So I went to a friend as my last desperate attempt. I wanted to open up to a friend. I'm a private person. I know I'm sharing here, but I'm a private person. I went to my friend and I said to her, I need to tell you something, and it's affecting me, and maybe you can help me. Two things. For some reason, I'm I I have this urge to leave the city by end of the year. Why? Why? I'm scared. Her response to me, Nicole, if you're still here, her response to me was, "These are my feelings." I was like, "What? These are my feelings. I've been preparing to leave by end of the year. It's a secret. Nobody knows. I didn't tell anyone. How did you know?" Oh, well, okay, first of all, I immediately realized that, wait, these are not my emotions. These are not my thoughts. How is it possible that but anyways, I was just relieved. First, I was relieved. All of a sudden, I felt like this this fog in front of me just gone. Okay, gone. And then she's a lawyer. Okay, logical. Okay, she couldn't figure out. She was shocked that I knew what she was doing. And to be honest with you, I didn't know. She didn't tell anyone. I didn't know, and we didn't talk. I never knew that she was preparing to move, and we were close. Yeah, I was kind of mixture of like anger, upset, like why didn't you tell me? We're like good friends. But anyways, how I made sense of it was I used my pattern recognition skill to piece together. But here's the thing. What happened was that my system was picking up. I was in expansion mode. So when you're in expansion mode, you absorb all the data, regardless. You just absorb like a sponge, regardless if that's your data or not, regardless if that's useful or not. You just absorb all the data because your system thinks that everything is important. So I was picking up her emotional data in the sense that every time she organized an event for the friends, for us to meet, to hang out, they were touristy places. Touristy places, and it was weird because when you live in the city, you don't go to touristy places. So, but anyways, she would pick all the restaurants. All the restaurants we went to was her favorite restaurants, and she would say things like these: "I'm so happy all of you could be here. I have all these memories to take with me." I'm like, wait, what? But obviously, like background processing, pattern recognition, background processing. My system was picking up touristy places, tourist short term, leaving. Okay. And she's like saying goodbye. Okay. She's saying goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. Well, somebody's leaving. I didn't think it was her. I didn't think it was me either. And then our social calendar stopped. She had all the events planned up until New Year's Eve. Up until New Year's Eve. Next year, nothing. So in my mind, my pattern recognition picked up that data and say, tourist, goodbye, leaving, end of the year. And it replay those loops back to me as if they were mine. So I was thinking, I'm analytical. So I'm trying to solve a problem of this loop, like leaving, going where? Why would I want to leave? And by end of the year, what? So as soon as she told me, they were her thoughts, bam, I was released. I felt released. And I realized, here's the thing, I realized that, wait, what? You can pick up people's data and replay it back as your own. That was my realization. So ever since then, anytime that I felt panic, I stopped, I paused. I said, are these my thoughts? Are these my data? If they're not my data, released, gone. Because if it's important, they're yours, it will come back as repeating patterns. Nicole, thanks for the rose. Victoria, thanks for the heart and the rose. Nicole, does that sound familiar? Nicole, get my map. Don't spend hundreds of dollars on outside solution. Just get my map. Much more affordable. Read it. Okay, release it. Go read it. It will save you a lot of headaches, and not just one time. Moving forward, you will know that, especially if you're like you can pick up other people's feelings and emotions, you're intuitive, you're more prone to picking up emotional data, especially when you're expanding, because you're learning and absorbing everything, regardless. That's why discernment, one of the stages, discernment, you have to filter, use discernment to filter the things that you're absorbing, the things that you're learning, the things you're taking in, letting into your system. JM, you are feeling you're on the wrong timeline. Nothing works here. Isolation. Yes, JM. So if you feel like you're on the wrong timeline, okay, or you feel like you were born or born in the wrong era, okay, it's because you're. Let me ask you this, JM. Are you seeing patterns? Because this stage, this step in the cycle, this is where you're seeing timelines, possibilities, viable paths of your future version. And what you do here is you switch timelines. It's a lonely experience, JM, because when you switch time, you become out of sync with other people, right? One timeline, one clock, one synchronization. So if you're switching timelines, you're switching time, rhythm, timing, beats. You get out of sync with other people, so you feel alone. Are you sticking with one path, or you don't like any of the paths that you are test driving? Okay, right here. Read about that in my map, JM. Victoria. Jane G, welcome back. Greetings to you. JM, thanks for the heart. Victoria, what if you feel you need to leave your environment? Yes. Victoria, our system, our body, okay, our body, the brain, the computing unit, the heart, the emotional GPS system, the physical vessel, that's one system. Every day we're moving through space, just like the rocket ship, okay? Now, the environment, our system reacts to the environment. So if your system tells you this is not a good environment for me, your system cannot grow in an environment where your system says, I shouldn't be here. JM, yes, you see patterns. Situations repeating, even if you move to another country. Yes, JM, that what's happening is that the pattern keeps repeating. It doesn't matter if it's so. If you move to another country and the patterns repeat, it means that it's not geographically, it's not the environment. That the loop, the pattern is something else. When you move to another city, when you move to another country, when you move to another environment, okay, it's easier to reset your life, your loops. But if that now you know moving geographically doesn't stop the loops, the patterns, that means something else in your life that's repeating. What are those loops? If you can remove yourself from those loops and look at yourself looping. Yep. So you look at the whole system, like not just you in the loop, but you look at all the loops you have in your life, looping. Okay, there's a pattern there. What is your growth pattern, JM? Your growth pattern, there's a theme in your life. Every one of us, we have a theme in our life. If you know that theme, the patterns, okay, you can get out of them faster, but you have to see them first. JM, get my map, sign up for the 2 sessions for this coming Saturday. If you feel stuck, if you want to see yourself more clearly in a loop, okay, I'll quickly show you my map. This is the map. If you understand emojis, this is the map that I came up with when I was an engineer, solving problems other engineers couldn't solve. Okay, I noticed a pattern in solving problems. I use this map to train engineers. I was promoted into management. I built teams, engineering teams. I hired mentors, trained them. And I use this map to help them get out of where they are. I saw them in compression, pressure, just like I went through when I was engineer. And every time they came out of pressure, okay, they expanded, learned, grew. So start with, okay, the cycle, the complete 12 stages of the cycle. Start with the experiences, read the experiences, and then do the cycle walkthrough. Yes, do the cycle walkthrough. One stage at a time. Is optimized for mobile and it's very short, simple. If you understand emojis, you will understand the map. Okay. Here, read about the choke points, the things that may stop you from growing, moving, continuing the pattern. Okay, get over them. You can get over them. You can read the choke points and it tells you how to get out of that. Okay, and the yellow pages, okay, every stage has a what you need to do to move to the next stage. So your goal is to keep moving. The yellow pages are prompts. There are 9 prompts here to help you remember your pattern. JM, the yellow pages right there, that's what you want to like go to. Okay, you remember your pattern, you see yourself looping, you get out. If you don't know where you are in the pattern here, the 12 stages, if you don't know where you are, you can't even begin to try and move because they're just, where are you? It depends on the stage you're in. So, and then if you feel like you're in panic mode, I've got some stabilization practices for you to do. Super simple stuff, but you calm your system. If your system is in panic mode, is locked up in panic, you can't think, you can't feel, and you cannot move. You're frozen. You have to unlock your system. Use those exercises. And on top of that, it trains you on discernment, how to see choices, differences, how to see patterns. You need to see patterns. Connect the dots. Connect the dots in your life. Victoria, you have a lot of, what is telling you that you have a lot of blockages? You can't grow or manifest anymore. Yeah, Victoria, okay, if you feel like energy is not moving in you, Victoria, this right here, these two stages, overload. You're overloaded by emotions, new data, information. You can't think, energy is blocked, stopped. That was me. I was telling Nicole about how I spent all my energy looping on loops, thought loops that weren't mine, right over here. And then read about this stage, discernment, Victoria. Okay? You're not stuck. You just need to know what's happening to you. Okay? That happened to me. I thought I was depressed. I was this close. I've never been depressed in my life. No, but like maybe one time, but that, yeah, okay, one time. But my whole life, positive. Okay. But anyways, I knew I wasn't depressed. I was not depressed. It felt like depression, but it wasn't. I just didn't have energy. I was deflated. Read about that, Victoria. If you feel like your energy is blocked, you can't make decisions, you hesitate, you can't see, you can't think, you feel heavy, bloated, full. Yeah. JM, you're welcome. John, Ram reading minds. Victoria, dealing with, yeah, you're in a relationship. That relationship is burning all of your energy. You feel burned out. If you have no energy, Victoria, if you're expanding, if you're learning and growing, and a loop from the past or something in your life is eating your energy, if you don't have energy, your growth stops. No energy, no growth. No energy, no growth. Now you know why you're burned out, because that relationship is eating all of your energy. You're in expansion for sure. So here's in expansion. If you're in expansion, you would feel like you're curious, you're learning and growing, you're learning about what you can become, how you're moving there. Forgotten. Thanks for the roses in the heart. Thank you. Victoria, okay? If you're making progress, growing and learning, and stop all of a sudden, it's energy. You stop having that energy. That energy is being funded somewhere else, like going somewhere else. And if you don't stabilize, you need to first, you need to stop leaking energy. It's like your phone gets drained even when you don't use it. You're just drained by whatever things. You got to look at your loops. It feels like sabotaging, but here's the thing. If you're over here in expansion and you feel like you're stopped, just look at the loops that you're spending energy on. Victoria, you've gone through all of that. Good. Good. You're already familiar with it. Now move faster. Remember your pattern. Move faster. Forgotten. You feel like you are awakening. but at the same time frozen. Sense of urgency, yes, forgotten. As much as you feel like you're awakening, okay, your awareness, you have high resolution awareness. If you're frozen, okay, you're frozen and you feel this sense of urgency, you're right over here. Okay, this right here, read about it in my maps. It's called storm, compression, pressure. You feel the urge to go somewhere. You are running really, really fast, but you're not moving. You're just here, stationary, frozen, even though your mind is going miles and miles. It's like the wheels on your car going really, really fast, but you're just here, stationary. The urge, the urgency to get somewhere, to make that decision. Right here, something is holding you back. So when you have that tension, forgotten, you're just holding. If you don't make a decision here, 3 ways to move at the door. Read about it in my map. Go back, loop the same way, okay? Move forward, walk through the door, cross that threshold, right? Or you just stay here. Now, when you stay here for too long, read about it in my map. You take in the pressure, you become a pressure cooker. And when you become a pressure cooker, your system can break. And this is a pattern recognition reading session. You're not just reading yourself. Once you see this pattern, you see other people's pattern, you see them looping. Okay, now if you see your own pattern, you can stop and tweak and optimize, improve your patterns. If you see other people's patterns, you can influence their patterns, just like how they can influence and tweak your patterns. So if sometimes you feel off, if you feel off, you don't know what's happening, your patterns are being influenced. So you got to be aware, notice, got to notice. Victoria, how do you claim it back? So Victoria, first, in order to claim anything back, okay, you need to know where you are in the pattern first, because depends on where you are in the pattern, okay, that tells you how you can move. Yeah, get my map, link in my bio, Victoria. So for those of you who are curious about what my map is, okay, check it out. Okay, the 3 tabs. My face up here, screen pops up. Tap on my photo again right here. Okay, and then you will see my bio. This is my bio. Tap on this link. And after you get my map, okay, I highly recommend that you go into the confirmation email, 2 registration links there. Register for both links. Those 2 events this Saturday, 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific time. Remember your pattern, you move faster. Second, how do you break out of a love loop, a relationship loop? If you're looping, you want to get out, or you want to see yourself looping clearly, regardless, just register for those 2 events. Junior, thanks for the follow. Forgotten, you see many people patterns and you try so hard to help them, but make it worse. But you make it worse and feel selfish. Yes, forgotten. Here's the thing. When you start seeing other people's patterns, how they loop, how many of you in the room can see other people's patterns, that you can see them looping? Okay, type me into the chat. If you can see your friends, your families, your coworkers repeating their loop, they're like looping, literally, like repeating something over and over again, type me into the chat. Okay, because when you can see other people looping, most of us want to help them, because if they're not growing, they're stuck somewhere looping, and we know that they have potential they're not moving toward, and you want to help them, here's the thing. If they don't have the awareness of themselves looping, if they don't know where they are in this pattern, you can't help them because they don't see it. So what you can do with this map, with my map, you can help them. Forgotten. Use this map to help others. Help them find where they are, so they see, oh, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. I'm not moving toward my potential. Yes, all it takes is like that awareness, and then as soon as they see it, they're like, oh, okay. So, and you can't help everyone. That's the thing. You cannot. You have to protect your life force. Number one. Okay, forgotten. Protect your life force. Mm-hmm. Dee Dee, thanks for the follow. Jack, 6. Can't sleep, wasting mine. Jack, when you close your eyes, okay, I want to ask you the difference. Okay, think about this. When you close your eyes, is your brain active, trying to solve a problem? Now, the problem that you're trying to solve, okay, let me know in the chat. Yes, okay, good. The problem you're trying to solve, Jack, okay, are you analytical? Have you been strategizing? Have you been simulating the different scenarios, different possible outcomes? Okay, have you been doing that? Especially when your eyes are closed. Okay, yes, okay. Jack, okay, if you're analytical, there are 2 groups of people. How we make decisions, neither good or bad. Okay, this is just how we make decisions. Let's see which group you're in. Jack, okay, let's see which group you're in. And all of us here in this room, remember, this exercise is going to help you remember how you make decisions. So Jack, you're here, right? Over here, analytical, thinking. You use your brain a lot. Okay, you like to compute outcomes. So you spend all of your energy just simulating scenarios. You're strategizing all of your possible moves. Okay? You want that perfect decision. You want the precision of that success rate before you make that decision. Okay? That's over here. Brain. If you're analytical, you use your brain a lot, you're in the brain group. Neither good or bad, okay? Neither good or bad. Just how you just need to remember which group you're in, how you move, how you make decisions. So the other side over here, okay? The other side over here, you trust your gut feeling, okay? First impression, gut intuition, instinct, okay? You make the decision faster than the brain people, but you also spend energy testing reality. If something doesn't work, no big deal. You try something else, okay? But the brain people, you burn a lot of energy in your brain, computing power. So if you're the gut, in the gut group, type gut into the chat. Gut into the chat. If you're brain, type brain into the chat. Jack, which one are you? Are you brain? Dominant? Here's the thing. The one that's more dominant. Dominant brain, dominant gut. Pattern disruptor. I have a pattern disruptor in my live stream. Yes, pattern interrupter. You created a structure for your business but haven't had a customer. Pattern interrupter. You are literally like named after this emoji in my pattern here. This is trigger. This is the pattern interruption. The pattern interrupter. You're a trigger. It's neither good or bad. I like your name. That's what I'm saying. Oh, Mayo. Yes, you're exactly what I'm describing right now. It's neither good or bad, guys. No judgment. No, that's just how we make decisions. You have to know how you make decisions so you can apply the pattern into your current problem and move faster. That is all. It's neither good or bad. Okay, Jack, you're more gut. Okay, so Jack, remember the last time you got out of something big, something in your life, a problem in your life. You, did you use your gut instinct to get out of it? Because what happening is that if you can't sleep, your mind is racing. Okay, you're solving a problem, right? You're solving a problem, and to solve that problem, two ways: brain, gut. Which one are you going to pick, Jack? Right? You don't have to answer me, Jack, but just do that mental exercise. Bodog, welcome back. Okay, Jack, gut. So, can you use that pattern now? Meaning, can you use your gut now to make a decision for that problem that you're trying to solve? What is your gut telling you now? Okay, you don't have to answer me. You don't have to share that if you're not comfortable. But that is your pattern. That is your growth pattern. That is how you survived past cycles. It's how you problem solve. It's how you move through this faster. It's how you get out of not sleeping, racing mind, because your mind is looking for a solution. Does this resonate with you, Jack? Let me know. Yes, no, resonate with you. Tap on the screen. Is this resonating with others in the chat? Hmm? Good. Jack, now you know. Hmm? Who else resonate? Oh, you get this too? John? Mm-hmm. Yes. But John, John, here's the thing about this pattern. If you see patterns and you are like patterns talk to you in some way, you like to connect the dots when you are exposed to this pattern. You start to see more patterns. You're going to see your own patterns more clearly. It's going to take time, but but you will notice. You will notice. And wherever you are now, John, okay, you will move out there soon. Yeah. So keep watching my live stream. Have the map open, read, scroll, listen to me talk as you read on the phone. The map is optimized for mobile reading. And just absorb, because you're going to, if you have a loop you want to break, you will break it. Pattern interrupter. You change how your nervous system handle problems. Oh yes, fantastic. Yes, pattern interrupter tweaked their nervous system, the life support system, the survival system capacity. So now the system with increased capacity can handle, can survive the next stage. That's what this is. Thank you for sharing that, pattern interrupter. Hearts, love. This is you now with owls? What? Venus, thanks for the follow. Modo Venus, how do I change now? Your nervous system handles problem. How do you change how your nervous system handles problem? Yes, that's a great question. Modo minus. Yes, I thanks for the follow. So, okay, it's not just one thing that you do. First of all, it's not just one thing that you do to change your nervous system. Your nervous system is adaptive. Okay, adaptive. We are adaptive beings. It's called adaptive intelligence. That's how our system adapt to our landscape, the terrain, our surrounding, our environment. Okay, the entire system, the brain, the computing processing unit, the mindset, the heart. Okay, the heart. So this mind logic. Okay, heart, emotions, sensors, feelings. That's how you know which way to go. You follow your heart, they say. Emotional capacity. How do you handle emotions? How do you experience them? Okay. Third, physical, your body, your vessel, your car, your rocket ship. Okay. 3 aspects of your system. And how you increase its capacity. Okay. The mind, the brain, right? Knowledge, information, processing, insights, right? And not just the brain. The brain is just one intelligence. The heart, your emotions. How do you, the sensors, your sensors, how they receive data, are they sensitive enough to pick up information? The information that you pick up, the data that you pick up, is it high resolution or low resolution? High resolution means you pick up a lot of data. So now you can pattern match, right? When you have a lot of data, you can connect more dots to connect. Low resolution means you're not feeling a lot. You're not picking up a lot of information. So when your data is low resolution, it's hard for you to piece together the problem in front of you, to solve it. So you got to increase data intake, how you process your data, not just the logic, but somatic, your entire system, not just one feeling, but the pattern of multiple feelings. Yes, multiple feelings. We don't experience life through one feeling at a time. We experience life as a pattern of emotions. Yes, when you lose someone, you don't just feel sad. You feel multiple feelings at once. That is that pattern, that somatic pattern. So you got to increase. You have to build your somatic pattern library, your life experience. For those of you, okay, who've been through this many years, decades, your somatic pattern library is rich. You think you're done growing in your 20s? No, you haven't experienced, you haven't built up your somatic pattern libraries yet. 30s? 40s? I don't think so. 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. As you experience life, your library increases, right? How many of you resonate with what I just said? How many of you have been through this cycle many times and your somatic pattern library is rich? You don't have to share. I know it's personal, but only share if you're comfortable. You try to stay calm and not make decisions immediately. That's good. Let your system stay calm. Justin 96, 1 through 7. Justin, if you experience all of these right here, Okay. And on top of that, you're experiencing the waiting loop for someone. Okay. What happens is this: you are over here somewhere, Justin, only you can map yourself accurately. Okay. Because you're the one with all of your data, lived experience. I only have some numbers from you. Okay. So you could be somewhere here, but specifically what you're experiencing, okay, is that you are in a space right now where you've lost the version of you, the stable version of you. So you feel like you don't want to be here, this old version of you. Okay, you feel like you don't want to be where you are. You see, okay, you feel where you might be, where you're going, where your next version is. You see it, but here's the thing: you can't sleep. You're thinking on solutions, how to get to that version. Okay, let me know if I'm wrong or correct. Just in 96. Okay, here I'm pinning your message again. Just in 96. Okay, and because you're waiting for someone and you feel the pressure to decide. Okay, you are at a point where you're waiting for that person to return to this loop with you before you can make a decision to your next version. Am I correct or am I wrong? Just then, let me know. Let me know first. Heart brain gut connection. Ask Rob, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Justin, are you waiting for that person to return before you can make that decision? So here's what, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Okay, that version of you, your future potential didn't leave. Your potential has always been here. That person that you're missing, they help you see that version of you. They didn't create or add to your potential. Okay, so if this person doesn't come back, to your loop, your future is still here. You can still move toward your next version. Yes, you can still move toward your next version, even if that person doesn't return, doesn't come back, doesn't respond to you. Your potential has always been here. Your future didn't disappear. It's still here. In fact, the pain that you are experiencing, for those of you missing someone, waiting, number 7, okay, number 7, if that's what you're experiencing, the pain that you're feeling right now, okay, is the pain of you missing your potential. You think you're in pain missing that person. You're in pain missing the version of you that you see and feel and experience when you're with that person. Yeah. So it is now 10:13 p.m. Pacific time, and I have to go and have dinner. So make sure you follow me. I go live every day. Every day. So if I didn't get to read your numbers or I skip them because there are many messages, follow me now so you can come back next time when I go live. Okay? And if you're curious about the growth cycle, I have hours long recording of me doing this, explaining every stage of this, That's what I've been doing the past 2 months, explaining 4 or 5 hour long live sessions. Find them over on the red play button platform. Look for my handle there. Wave intuitive signal. Wave intuitive signal. Red play button platform. Go watch the recordings there. And follow me, come back. I go live every day. And John, keep reading the map. Okay, keep reading. Make progress. Make your progress. Hone in. Feel it. Just feel. If you don't get it the first time, that is okay. It will come to you. It will click. It will click. Yeah. Good. Everyone have a good night, good evening, and good day. Okay? See your patterns. See your patterns. I'll see you next time. Thank you, John. Have a great day to you.